All right. Welcome back to the Blue Ox Running Podcast. We have a little bit of a different vibe going on, and I don't even know what number this is. 15, 16? 14. Episode number 14 is coming in hot on a Thursday evening. We are actually live in the store in front of many people drinking beer and looking at us, and this is awesome. Actually, it's our birthday week. It is the 5-year anniversary, birthday, whatever you want to call it, at Blue Ox Running. This whole week we have a sale. Nothing really matters about the sale for this podcast because you'll listen to this in a little bit. But Alicia, how is your day going?
Great.
Let's just talk about your day. This is nothing's new. Like there's not big bright lights and a bunch of people looking at us right now. What's one word that you can describe this past week as the birthday, sale and all of the fond memories that have been kind of brought back to us has been going on? One word for the last week.
Fun.
It has been very fun. And we're going to get to a very special guest a little bit later in the podcast. But we basically wanted to take this opportunity to celebrate the Thursday evening group run. We have a Thursday group run every single week at 6 p.m. We meet about a block away from the store. If you need information about that, check out our website, check out our Facebook group. We always post the map and everything there. And as we get into basically winter weather, it feels like we just skipped over fall, or we had like a fall that lasted 3 days. But it was a little chilly, so I see a lot of people with like running tights, with stocking hats, including you. That you did run tonight, actually.
I did.
How far did you go?
3.5.
3.5. Who was running with you?
My middle child, Leo, in the audience.
Leo's over there eating a bunch of greasy pizza. It is a typical Thursday evening, which is a little chaotic, but a lot of fun. So we're happy to kind of bring the internet and the interweb and our social media kind of podcast into our experience tonight. If you've never been to Thursday evening group run, fear not. It is not just a bunch of fast runners that go out and train super hard. It's actually super laid back. Our motto is fast or slow, let's go. Some people show up and walk. Some people show up and run walk. A lot of people are jogging, anywhere from 7-minute pace to 20-minute pace on the walking, 15-minute pace, 9-minute pace is pretty common right in there. And Leo, were you the youngest one today? 9-year-old? Yeah, we had a 9-year-old here today. We had 2 9-year-olds last week, so all ages are welcome. And
dogs and babies.
Yeah, we're getting more dogs in the store actually too. We have a store dog that's growing about a pound a week, which is not much. He's 9 pounds now? So he still gets manhandled by the regular dogs that come through here, and our old buddy Paul. All right, should we get to the guest? It's a very special guest. But if you already know who it is, you probably know who it is if you clicked on the episode. You already know who it is in the room, so it's actually not a surprise guest. It's Mary Kane. We're going to get there after the music. So what's your spring running goal?
Qualify for the Boston Marathon.
Claim the beer mile title.
Training for a triathlon. 20 minutes again in a 5K.
To run happy.
Balance running and family.
Finish Grandma's marathon.
To not die.
Fast.
Or slow.
Let's go! Fast or slow! Let's go! Fast or slow! Let's go!
All right, we are back from that intro music, and we have our guest, Mary Kane, with us. But before we get to Mary and her questions, we need to just acknowledge who else is out here in the studio audience, I guess we could call it. Why don't you make some noise, open your beer, just, yes. Woo, fast or slow, let's go. And actually, we need to acknowledge the guy in the neon shirt, one of the neon shirts. Alex Rongstead is working his tail off tonight. He was not supposed to work on this Thursday, but he's our media manager. He's like flying around here with about 20 cameras. He's making sure everything sounds good. And that's what we get for a decent podcast. All right, Mary Kane, hello.
Hi.
How are you? I think what I want to do is just reenact our original job interview that we had about 4 years ago. Is that all right?
I need the sticker gun.
We'll get to there. But before we get into your time with Blue Ox, first of all, if people don't know, Mary was our first employee that we hired back in 2018. We opened the store in the end of 2017. We got through the winter without any employees. Alicia and I only worked on Saturdays together. I worked every other hour during the week, and then we needed help in the spring of 2018. Before you got to Blue Ox, though, what was your role in Run Specialty? What did you do elsewhere? I kind of know that, but tell other people where you were at before Blue Ox.
Right. So I initially started up at Running Room up in the Twin Cities. I ended up being a manager there and just gained a lot of experience through that and ended up really enjoying working in Run Specialty because you don't just deal with the runners. You are working with people that are going through injuries, that are just getting into running, that don't think they can run, but then end up being able to. And it's such a cool experience to like fit people that are just starting out.
Well, and you kind of had, I looked at your staff profile thing today, which I guess eventually will come down. Sorry. It's on the website still. So if you go to the website, you'll see Mary's picture. The first question is, how did you get into like running shoes, running? And it was kind of a friend that showed you that before you were able to show other people that.
Yeah, and I actually hated running in high school because I just had the worst shin splints all the time. And I was like, this is stupid. Why do people do this? And then turns out there's actually like running shoes that are good for people that have like different issues going on with their feet and their legs.
Yep. Totally. So, do you remember the first time that you knew of Mary Kane?
Yeah, it was at our grand opening.
Yes.
Actually, so this is in October, the same time of 2017.
Yeah, it's before we hired her.
Yeah, so
we knew of her.
Yeah, we had a couple reps in our store helping us out, and one of them was our Hoka rep. His name is Josh, and he's like, do you guys know a Mary Kane? Like, she lives in Eau Claire now, and she worked Run Specialty. Like, do you need to hire someone? And so I, like, literally wrote Mary Kane on a piece, like a little Post-it.
Yep.
And kept it. And, like, we kind of tracked you down, right?
Even on that day, he asked you about that.
Yeah.
But you were in on opening day as a shopper. I remember Mary came in and was like, do you have any Ravennas? And I was like, yes, we do. But that was very specific. You know exactly what you're looking for. So I knew she, kind of knew her shoes already. But then Josh, our Hoka rep now, looked over and he was like, that's Mary Kane. And I was like, oh, this is a big name. This is a big name in the Midwest Run Specialty game. All right. Should I know that name? And he's like, I know that name. So how did you know Josh beforehand?
Josh and I were both managers at different running rooms up in the cities. So we would have trainings and different, like, our reps would come in and just gather all the managers and just get us together. And that's how I kind of got to know Josh.
It's kind of a small world because we see Josh has moved into a different position now since he was there. He used to be with Running Room. Now he's with Hoka. So it's kind of a small world once we, kind of live in the same area, especially.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, the other thing that I remember before we hired you was there was an email. Do you remember the first email?
That I emailed you?
Yes.
Yes.
Just tell more. Tell more.
I think that was before you guys even opened.
Yes.
So I had moved to Eau Claire in August of 2017, and there was, I think, a Volume 1 article about you guys opening the store up. And I was like, hey, I know what I'm doing in Run Specialty. This could be a cool second job. They seem pretty cool. So I emailed, I think, Adam, you specifically, and said, like, hey, if you need anyone, I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yes.
So hire me?
I think that's the exact, that's verbatim. That's word for word. And there
That's
was a
probably
little
what it was.
emoji. There was a little emoji of her.
The,
like this.
shrugging emoji, which is my most typical. I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe?
And honestly, like, we thought we would get through the first winter because it's kind of a down season in winter. We thought we'd get through the first winter and even the first year and maybe the second winter before we started to, like, pay people and have more expenses. And we were just going to start small and build the inventory. And sure enough, it wasn't a year and a half. It was like a half a year before we needed to hire and get more help and have us not work 100 hours a week. So
With awesome handwritten signs on the door, like,
yes.
Hey, we have a sick kid. We can't come in. Sorry.
Yeah. There was a lot of flying by the seat of our pants, especially in those early days. So we got Mary hired in that first half year. And one of the other things, I'm going to take out my notes because I need to get this right. During our interview, this is trivia time. Do you remember what the exact, like, criteria was for us to hire Mary? I mean, there's all, of course, like a lot of skills that we're looking for and stuff. But in the middle of the interview, we're like, if you can do this, we will hire you on the spot.
It was the gun.
Yeah, the price gun.
The price gun.
We like could not figure it out
Yeah.
how to. So nothing was stickered in our store with prices.
I was having a rough day. It was not good.
So I said, if you can figure this out, you have the job, and she did.
Yeah.
Turns out you can just use YouTube.
Yeah. We had so all the price and we still have that pricing gun. It's a good pricing gun, but we did not know how to use it out of the box that first day. So Mary legitimately, like on the spot, was like, "Let me see this stupid little
And
thing."
then she stickered everything.
Yep. And then she stickered everything. So she's been with us the longest. We've had a lot of people, kind of come and go while she's been there the whole time. But tell a little bit more if you're comfortable. This is definitely your second job, right? Like it's a different job than you have before. And is there anything that's special about like Thursday evenings that's different about your week or different about your other job that's helpful for people to know, like why you've always been here for Thursdays?
I mean, so starting out, Thursdays were just the most convenient day
Yep.
for me to work because I would work just regular, like 8 to 5 type of situation with my other job in social work. And so Thursdays, the store was open till 8. So I was like, okay, I can get off at 3 or 4 from my other job and come work here. And this was actually the way that I really built my community here in Eau Claire. I didn't really have a lot of people coming into Eau Claire that I knew, that I was close to. And it just happened that this is the way I grew my Eau Claire family, which was wild. And
Yeah.
I got accosted every time I wasn't here on a Thursday then. It was like, where's Mary?
Yep.
Is she okay? And poor Emma would get the,
Yep.
well, why are you here?
Yeah, I felt bad for some of the other employees that would work a group run, and they'd be like, okay, well, I guess you can help me,
Like, do you know how to check people in
Yep.
or no?
Yeah, because everyone was used to Mary.
I still don't know how to do some of those things.
Yeah. Yep. We get to learn the hard way sometimes. But I kind of forgot, like Thursday night wasn't always a group run thing.
No.
It was by the time 2018 hit, but it's always been the day that we're open till 8 p.m. So yeah, we've seen a lot of people like kind of like know each other or like make friends here during. It's not just about the group run, but like just this time has always. That's why it was so appropriate to have the podcast now. It's like this is kind of the normal social hangout time, whether it's after the store closes, people go out for beers or kind of hang around a little bit longer here. But is there anything that you feel like kind of shifted? Of course, COVID happened, but like anything that throughout the years that has shifted with the group run, or something that you've really liked that we've started, or that you really wanted us to get rid of, or
everything. No. I mean, it was kind of, I think group run has gone like ebbed and flowed in and out a little bit, especially like you said with COVID. I mean,
Right.
Luckily I had gotten to know people enough that we would get on Facebook Messenger after group
Yep.
run on Thursday nights and still hang out during COVID. But I'm trying to think of like things that have really shifted. It's just been incredible to watch like people who never knew each other
Yep.
all of a sudden become this like really intact corner crew, quote unquote.
Yep.
That always were causing problems and never being quiet during announcements and
Yep.
and always heckling everybody, always in the back corner. But just to like see people develop those relationships and find those people to run with in the community.
I was going to share too how much group run has even shifted. Like when she started, she was just like solo here. Like when we'd have trail night, like she would just be here working. Like we've grown so much just in general as a store too, not just group run, but like staff and that's looked so different. Like she just used to hold down the fort here.
Yeah, the early staff knew how to like hold down the fort by themselves, like for a couple hours. Like especially like if we were out of town or something came up with kids, or the first that is like a first for us. Mary has a lot of firsts in the store. First employee, but the first time that we left an employee here and kind of like handed over everything.
Our first trail night,
was when we had a trail night.
100 people there.
100 people at Lowe's Creek. So Alicia and I are both there with a bunch of reps and like a bunch of stuff going on. And we're like, okay, Mary, like we're not having the group run here. So there's not going to be a mass of people, but there still could be people that need to be fit or whatever. And the phone call I got as I'm out at trail night, it was like the store. So I'm like, yep, I better take this. And it was like, hi, this is Mary. Everything's fine. I might have to call the police. And I was like...
And I did.
Like, what? Yeah. So we can go into that if you want, but what's your side of the phone call on that one?
Yeah, I was just like, oh no, I think I need to call them, and they're not going to trust me with the store. They're going to think everything's on fire the second this phone call comes through.
Mary, we won't share in here, but we've had some interesting
interactions.
Yes.
We're downtown business. There's a lot of different kinds of people that come in here. There's a lot of people that know what they're looking for. There's a lot of people that don't have any clue, like, what a running store is, and they're just kind of going into businesses, so like... obviously there's a safety protocol that we have when we're downtown and it's later and, our night is like, it's dark now. Right. So, different parts of the year and Thursdays open till 8 is a little bit different. So it's just been, a learning experience for all of us, obviously. And Mary's known like even better than we sometimes on like even doing inventory. Like this is the first time that we've been through this whole thing, is like refilling our inventory, and we're kind of learning as we go as far as like what levels we need and stuff. And Mary's had years of like taking inventory, shutting the store down, like taking all the inventory on 1,200 boxes in the basement. So sometimes we would not have a perfect gauge of like how long that might take. And Mary's like, that's going to take 2 nights, not one. Like we need to schedule 2 nights. It's not going to be as easy as you think. So that's been super helpful.
I think my favorite like look on your face that I got was the one day I had like gone over the expiration dates on the nutrition, and you're like, what is this?
Expiration dates?
They expire?
I'm like, just put them. That's, by the
And
way.
he's like, what do we do?
You put them in my car, and I've literally had expired like nutrition for my own personal running for the last 5 years. That's what I use. That's the Adam Condit Fund.
Like it's fine.
And I think I've run pretty good on expired nutrition.
Yeah. It's not going to kill you.
No, it's not going to kill. It's just going to taste a little different.
It'll be a weird viscosity.
They have
to
put an expiration date on it, by the way. So this is a story telling you that we do get rid of it before the expiration date.
Adam,
I still eat it, and I haven't died. So you can buy you can buy the sale stuff, and it's totally fine. Thanks to Mary Kane. Yeah. I get that super discount. There's another thing that I remember was a first. I had to write this down. Oh yeah. Mary's performance review.
Oh, gosh.
Which one?
We could just print them out and read them verbatim. That'd be fine. But the first one, do you remember the first one?
Yeah, you were so excited, but Alicia had already ruined the surprise.
What was the surprise?
Her gift.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Shoot. I was going to share my goal was to make you cry.
Yeah, that was. And I think I did, because I'm just always very uncomfortable during performance reviews.
So my goal wasn't to make her cry in sadness and like, but she was like, the whole week she's like, I just don't like performance reviews. Even if it's going well, it's awkward for me. I'm nervous, and I'm just like, oh, it's going to happen. We're going to make this super awkward and nerve-wracking, and you're going to cry. And so that was my only goal, and I think it happened.
And you're so good at just making everyone uncomfortable if you want to.
Exactly. It's happening right now in this room. What do you remember about the blown
the gift
surprise?
So we gifted her with something, and
the Garmin.
Yeah, like I already told her, and you're like so excited at the end.
You put it in a shoe-box to like throw me off.
Yeah, to be like, this is your gift, and I was like, I already told her.
It was like this huge shoebox. Yeah, that was anticlimactic. That's all right. But one thing I will say about Mary is like, this is the first time I've been a boss. This is the first time that we've managed anything like this. I've had a lot of different jobs, and it has not been overseeing people. So like when Mary got hired, I'm like finding my way, and she's like, of course, everyone here knows, super bubbly, super like on board with helping out however she can. But like, I I had a learning curve, big time. I had a huge learning curve with like being able to be direct and like give instruction, but still be nice. And like, it was very awkward for me. It was like, so we talk about awkwardness and I can make people feel awkward, but like I had to find my footing when we started having employees. And I think that was a huge shift for us, is because we knew all the ins and outs of setting up the business, but like managing employees comes later. Like it's not just this thing that starts right away and that you kind of don't know when it's going to start, So Mary's a very good first employee.
We were all just very uncomfortable the entire time.
Oh yeah. No, it's after 5 years, we're starting to have a little comfortability.
There were so many Thursdays where Adam and I were just like, we need to pull our lives together.
Yeah. Thursday's a good part of the week too. If you don't know like our ordering schedule, we order a lot on the weekends and then it comes usually Wednesday and Thursday. It was a lot more predictable before COVID, but like Thursday would just be like this day where all the boxes came, and Mary's coming up to the end of her week. She gets off her other job and there's just like 7 to 10 boxes, and we just got to tear through them week after week after week. And that's when there was only 2 people in the store, and it was just like super predictable. It was a grind for sure, but that's what knit us together for sure. Any other big memories with Mary?
I just made it super awkward the other day with you and me, right?
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
I like left and then I came back.
Yeah, we've had a couple goodbyes. Like
I've had so many.
We've had the last Thursday working shift goodbye that was over at Brewing Project. And then there was the last Saturday shift goodbye. So I got the last Thursday shift goodbye. You got the last Saturday shift goodbye. And now I think we should all have a big group hug on camera.
We're not doing that. No. We're not doing that.
And when I say everyone, I mean everyone on that camera. No, I'm just kidding. So, no, it's been, tell people why you're not working at Blue Ox anymore, just so people don't think that I talked about performance reviews and you got fired.
That could have happened and I didn't know, to be honest.
Perfect timing.
Because of the one missed performance review, that's what's going on.
I was going to share that too.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
There was just a year we didn't do a performance review because it was super crazy. It was the year of COVID, and we're just like, we don't know if we're going to have a business. Let's just keep doing other things, and we just never.
Well, we
got
kept
to
talking about it, and then the one day I thought we were going to do it was when I dropped the box on your shoulder and just like took you out.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's it. We need a performance
Mary
review.
almost assaulted me in the stockroom with a box. It was a weapon.
Yeah.
It was a weapon. It was a square boxed weapon, and I almost went down.
Yes.
And that's when we did not do the performance review. Otherwise, she would have been fired.
Probably. Yeah, but I'm actually moving up to the Twin Cities to take a different social work job. Similar situation, but unfortunately can't come back to Blue Ox every Thursday night.
Do you know that she might be working with my brother?
Oh, we did
I
not
am.
know that.
Yeah.
Oh, killer. So she came from the cities, and then every year you've been cheering at the Twin Cities Marathon, so we saw you there. But tell us about what you've been in the cities before, but that's where you went to school, yeah?
Yeah, I went to college up there and was up there for about 5 or 6 years total. Moved down here for work.
Yep.
And the intention was always kind of to move back up to the cities, but I didn't really have a plan. And definitely kind of some sadness about that, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're super obviously
It's making it
sad to
weird.
see you go, but happy to see you thrive somewhere else.
Yeah.
We're going to take some questions from the audience if you guys want to. We usually do speed round. Do you have a couple questions?
I can make some up.
I've got a couple questions. If you think of any speed round questions, they're normally just like a 1-word answer, pretty quick, that you've just been longing to ask Mary. Every Thursday, you've been wanting to ask her. Raise your hand
I'm not
if you
answering
want
these.
as we go, but we'll kind of start if you have one.
Sure.
Let her
I
rip.
have definite one.
Oh boy.
How many pair of gooders do you have?
Oh, that's a good question.
An inappropriate amount, probably like 24 at this point.
Okay.
24 gooders. That's that employee discount.
How many can I find? About 5 at any given time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I have a question. We're
doing
married
it
the whole time.
We're doing it.
All right. I have a question. Are you still a fan of the Ravenna ever since they went to the guide rails?
No. Okay, I was not a fan of the Ravenna prior to the guide rails.
Okay.
They changed it. The Ravenna 7 was the last decent one.
And what are we on now? I mean, they changed the name of it. It's the Brooks Launch
It's
GTS.
the Brooks Launch GTS.
But they were up to the
it's
11?
fine. Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
up to
and
the
I
11.
wasn't able to find a shoe that I liked as much as that one until they came out with the Transcend GTS, or the Transcend and now the Glycerin GTS.
Yep. Is that your favy?
It is now.
It was
I've
going
got
to
it
be.
on.
Yeah.
Yep. I hear you. We won't even talk about the...
It was a sad day.
Okay. What else? Any
Oh,
questions
sorry.
from the audience?
Yeah, anyone from the audience?
John.
Who are you gonna miss the most?
Hold on. The question was, who are you going to miss the most?
Carly, because she brings in snacks.
Oh.
Sorry, that was
Nice.
Always the baked goods with
Very
that
good.
one.
We have another question from the audience. Morgan.
Miss the least.
Who are you going to miss the least?
I'm not answering that.
She looked at me right when you asked that question.
My boss. No.
I'll assume that's Alicia.
It's me.
I didn't say which boss.
That's right.
No.
Any questions from the audience? Otherwise, I have another one. How many times have you drunk a beer on the clock?
Only the ones that you've allowed it.
Oh, good answer.
Impressive. That's impressive.
Which is
Only the ones that I cracked for her.
which
and
is
gave her
more
the
than
beer.
0.
Yes, it is more than 0.
Do you have a favorite local event?
Oh, do you have a favorite local event?
I mean, probably Eau Claire Marathon, honestly. I mean, I'm one of the biggest spectators I know, and it is truly
time.
it's a sport in and of itself.
Yes.
I walk 5 to 10 miles each
Easily.
marathon, just like going from place to place. But that one is definitely one of my top just in general, because you can get to so many spots and see so many different, like, I don't know how many people I was tracking during Eau Claire Marathon. It was like 25.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like.
Well, I remember one year I was freaking out about my nutrition, and I'm like, Mary, when I come by here, we have 3 miles to go. Super important, to get, if you need something, super important that I have this. I give you like my Cliff Blocks, and like if I want a caffeine gel, here's this. I've got like...
You gave me 3 different
I gave
Huma
you-
gels.
I gave
One
her
was
3.
extra caffeine, one was extra electrolytes, and then there was just a regular
plain.
one. And you're like,
Yep.
bring all 3 of these. You need all 3
I'm
of
like,
these.
have them spread out so I can choose the tab I want. Like I this will be important. And I came flying by, and what happened?
You're like, no, my God.
I'm like, I'm fine. I'm gonna finish without those.
He did not look fine, by the way.
I didn't feel fine, but I think my body was like, don't just keep going.
And that's when there was still the hill at the end.
Don't
so you
even-
just like
oh,
completely
yeah.
disregarded that.
Yeah, that was not smart.
But
I blame that on you, Mary. You should have given me the gels.
I should have made you.
Should've.
Forced it into your hands.
That's right.
Yeah, because that was the Saturday before you were in here at like 4:45, and you were like, take these. I need these.
Yes. That was the week. What else?
Well, this isn't a question. I was wondering if we're going to comment on your, like, what does everyone call it? Like Mary's look? Or like...
Oh, yeah, judgy eyes.
Oh, yeah, judgy eyes.
I
Gosh.
feel like we need to ask a couple questions that Greg would ask. Greg's not here tonight, and he's got the most judgy eyes animosity.
He does. It's
Where did that
because
come
he
from?
deserved the judgy eyes the most. Judgy eyes, I mean, just in general, is who I am as a person, I think. But
It was during abs.
but specifically, it came out the most during abs because people would just like leave without doing abs, and I was like, no, this is not how group run works. You're going to stay here,
Yes.
and you're going to do abs, and you're going to enjoy it,
That's right.
and actually do them.
And Mary
Unlike Tony.
Mary's responsible for the Wheel of Death. Like that was her creation, basically, when we found the random names spinner. Carly, question and or comment.
I have a great picture, though, of Halloween.
Yes, I'm dressed up like a judge.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she embraced it.
Mary was RBG
I was.
for Halloween one year. So the judge, Supreme Court judge, with the Supreme Judgy eyes. I still have the picture, and I still send it to the group chat like every 8 to 10 weeks.
yes.
She does
Yes.
often send
By the
it.
way, we don't need to take a picture of your beautiful hat and like the new shoe wall. It's just going to be the judgy eyes picture
Probably,
for
yeah.
the podcast.
Throw with the lace collar.
Yes. I was like, okay, it's going to be Halloween during group run. I need a costume. What am I going to do? And I was like, I'll just dress up like a judge so I can give them extra judgy eyes, obviously. And it worked.
Love it. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? And Morgan's got one.
Do you have a group run night that sticks out in your memory?
Yeah. Favorite group run night?
Or most eventful?
Favorite and most eventful, we did the Lego run. And it was so funny because it just came up on the TV when I was in here earlier.
Yes.
So basically, I got paid money to pour Legos on a treadmill while my friends ran on it.
Yep.
And I've never felt so satisfied in my life.
Yeah.
And that's how we also ended up hiring Chris.
Yes.
At that point.
Chris was hooked after that. And we also, with every shoe fitting for the next year, found an extra Lego or like all
They'd
of a sudden.
spit out.
We just all of a sudden hear
Yeah.
And then a Lego would come flying out of the
Some dear old
treadmill.
man would be like getting his, high cushion shoes, and all of a sudden, as he's walking, it'd just be like, there'd just be like Lego shooting out the back.
Yes.
I think we found
That's a
Legos for
good
like
one.
2 years.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's probably still some in there.
Probably.
Did you have something?
That was my question, actually.
Oh, the favorite one. Killer.
Yeah, that was probably it.
Well, to close out the podcast, I was thinking that you could try to make me cry.
I'm not doing that.
Oh my gosh.
We're just gonna make it super.
That's not that hard.
No, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do fast or slow. Let's go, and everyone in here has to join in on it, right? So everyone, at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Fast or slow. Let's go.
Fast.
Or slow.